back. I want to welcome you back to Talking with Forest Park. Hope you're enjoying your summer. I again here back at the round table with Ray Hodges as well as Wright Gwyn, Wright from the Environmental Awareness.
Right.
From Forest Park. Glad you could join us.
Thank you.
It's been a little while since we've seen you here.
It has. You've kind of
added
a few things.
I've adopted the right look.
Oh, okay. Yours looks much better, by the way.
Well, mine's just
and it's
starting.
not as white.
Well, we won't talk about that. But anyway, glad you could make it because we have a few things in the solid waste and environmental area to discuss here at the city. A big portion of our thankful part of the city is that we do have an environmental awareness agency here within the city. So, knowing that, we have a new solid waste and recycling contract that's coming up here in the city. When does that contract begin and why are we having this?
Okay.
What's going on?
Well, it begins, our second contract begins October 1st of this year. Our first one for 5 years will end September 30th or 31st. I can't remember how many days there are in that month. But
30 days, half September.
Okay, thank you very much. The reason why we went to a contract to begin with was the rates were getting kind of out of control. And we were getting calls with people saying, you know, I think this is just too high. And something needs to be done.
And we're dealing with people like Rumpke and would it be Forest Green or
well,
was that one?
No, it's Rumpke, CSI, Republic,
okay.
Best Way, things of that nature. But at that time, we were working with Rumpke, and the prices were high because we were subscription. Rumpke had to bill everybody individually. You know, they were individual contracts. It was really a mess. And so the city, I think to their wisdom, decided to entertain the idea of going to a contract in 2008. So we put together a contract, submitted it, and we got very good prices. So this is the second one. The first one is ending, like I say, the end of September. This is a continuation of what we started in 2008.
And now what will be the differences between the previous contract to this year, or is it just more of a rollover, so to speak?
A lot of it will stay the same, but there's some very important differences that we're trying to get across to people so that they can take advantage of these things.
And what are those, because that's the important part here?
Okay, well, the things that are going to stay the same, we'll start with those, is that there will be no increases in monthly fees.
Perfect.
Before the first contract in 2008, the cost was $18.81 for full service. When we got the contract in 2008, we were able to drop it to $17 a month, with the goal, the city's goal, to keep it at $17, not have an increase for 5 years.
Okay.
Which, you know, we thought, well, if we could do that, we're doing pretty good. And we were able to do that. This year, we're going to keep it, this contract, we're going to try to do the same thing. We're going to keep it at 17. Our goal is to keep it at 17 for the next 5 years. So that would be $17 with no increases for 10 years if we can do that.
Right, and if I can interject,
absolutely.
We all have to pay expenses, and I don't know of any service over the last 5 years, and certainly as we look forward to the 10-year time frame, that hasn't had an increase.
Exactly.
So this says a lot, and we appreciate Wright's work on this to help us not only lower the rates on a monthly basis, but to keep them that low for, again, what we're looking for is another 5 years.
Right, and so we've been very fortunate, I think. Another neat thing that's going to stay the same is that the big Rumpke trash cans, those 96-gallon Cadillac trash cans.
The nice ones with the wheels.
Oh, wheels! Everybody gives them for Christmas. You know, I really want one of these things. Originally, they were $3.50 a month. With the first contract in 2008, it was $1. We're going to maintain the $1.
Wow.
So that's a big savings for people who are using those cans. And I went through before I came here just to find out how many people households are actually using the cans. Almost 2,000 households are using Rumpke. And we didn't have hardly any to begin with. So now we've got almost 2,000 households using Rumpke containers.
And this is for the regular waste, correct?
Regular, solid, weekly solid waste that you put out on the curb.
Right, and again, if I can interject for a minute, these are not only quality cans, if you will, but by the time that people buy some of these inexpensive ones and keep them and they break and then have to buy another one, they would have been much better off to have used these higher quality containers that we're using.
Especially for $1.
For $1.
Yeah.
Sometimes people, when they ask how much, I say it's only $1. $1? I'll take 2. You know, which I don't know is a good thing.
I don't know if you're putting that much trash in some of those.
Yeah, it's a lot of trash. But those two reduction, maintaining the cost is really a good thing for the next 5 years. We're also going to continue the Eco-Tier program.
Okay.
And that is for people, households that generate less solid waste and are active recyclers. And so that cost, we can talk a little bit more about that program, but that's a less expensive cost. Full service is $17 a month, like we said. Eco-Tier service right now is $14 a month, but it's going to be reduced to $13 a month because we think those people who aren't putting out as much and are really trying to recycle should be kind of rewarded and not have to pay the full service cost because they don't need that total service.
What a great reward. And again,
Right.
What would you be getting in the eco tier as opposed to the regular solid waste tier?
That's a great question. If you don't register for the eco tier, you're automatically put onto the full service. And full service doesn't mean unlimited service. Like Chris Anderson mentioned about the leaves, that you got to be careful on how much you put out because we only have full service, not unlimited service. So households can put out up to 6 standard 32-gallon containers a week. Okay, now a Rumpke trash can is the equivalent of 3 of those. So households will only be able to use 2 Rumpke because that's the maximum they can do. Okay, if you have a large item, that's the equivalent of a 32-gallon standard container. So if you put out, let's say, a mattress, a large item, then you can only put out 5 32-gallon containers. Okay, so that's how you have to
you have to
subtract.
Sure.
And then you can also put out as much recycling. We're trying to encourage that as possible. In Eco-Tier service, you are given a 35 or 65-gallon container at no cost. So you don't even have to worry about the rental, $1 rental.
So the $1 rental's gone.
That's gone. And then you use that container. If you can fill it up and put it out on the curb, that's fine. But if you put another bag or another container beside it, you have to get a $1 sticker, and you can get those from our office.
Okay.
That's no big deal. You can still put out a large item a week, and you can still recycle as much as you can.
Okay.
So that's the Eco-Tier, and that'll be $13 a month plus no rental fee.
You were saying that is the $1 sticker for was it for recyclables?
No,
or
the $1
trash?
is for trash that you don't put in the brown container that you're given.
Right. It's for those that
Excess.
are on that Eco-Tier above and beyond maybe what they would normally put out.
Right, they might have like a big party or a reunion, and all of a sudden they fill up their 65-gallon container or 35-gallon container where they maybe have 3 trash cans or 3 trash bags. Just put a $1 sticker on each one. They'll take it, and you're good to go. And then you can go back to the way you usually do.
And if you really think about it, it's almost at that point a wash. If it's $13 and it's $17 a month, if you put out 4 extra, you've just equaled. So I guess I could see that. Okay. So we've got that going on, and then once we get that going, one question I do want to go is, are they still using the smaller bins as well?
You're talking about the recycling
They're
containers?
old, yeah. I hate to call them older recycling bins, but for those of us who remember, that was the only thing we had.
Right. Now, that's one of the things that's kind of changing.
Okay.
We're increasing our choices with recycling containers. Before the contract in 2008, we only could have the red bins.
Right.
That's it. When we got the contract in 2008, we were able to get not only the red bin, but the 65-gallon green recycling tote with wheels and a lid. Okay, in this contract for the next 5 years, we'll have the red one, we'll have the big green one, 65 gallons, but we'll also have a medium-sized one, a 35-gallon green recycling tote with wheels and a lid, because during the last 5 years, some people say, it's just so big, just so big. And so we put in the bid specs that we wanted to have a range of the 18, the 35, and the 65-gallon containers.
And are those the only things that we're going to ever really notice in this change?
I think so. I think that's basically it. It should transition over very smoothly. It's still going to be on the water bill.
Okay.
Every 3 months you'll get a solid waste when you get your water bill. The route changes, there will be no route changes. So if you're getting service on Wednesday, you'll still get it on Wednesday. If you got it on Monday, you'll still get it on Monday. Eco-tier service, we've got it now. We'll have it in the next contract. Just give me a call. Remember, you have to register for it.
And I was just going to say, to register for the eco-tier, they have to contact
They
you
have to
at the city.
contact me because I want to talk to them and make sure that they understand what it is before we change their accounts. Because I don't want them to all of a sudden realize that well, maybe this isn't the program that they really want. So we want to make sure that they're comfortable with it.
And then if we're looking at this contract 5 years from now, obviously, because we'll have to reevaluate this again, and my beard matches yours. what do you expect from then? You know, because you're working so diligently to keep it at such a low rate. Do you think we'll be able to meet that challenge, or how do you feel that's going to go?
No one can tell. I think we timed it perfectly in 2008. You know, we got it right when things were beginning to explode as far as cost goes, and we were able to slip in and get some things nailed down that wouldn't change, and it worked like a charm. I think when we came in this time, there was more competition in the market. There were more people bidding for us, so we got a very good price. And so that allowed us to maintain basically the services and the costs that we had in the previous 5 years. What's going to happen in the next 5 years? Oil prices might just go skyrocketing. You know, there might be another fire at Rumpke. And, there's no telling what. All we can do is really look at the situation. I'm a member of the policy committee with the Hamilton County Recycling and Solid Waste Committee. And so I work with Rumpke and other waste haulers. I get to understand what's going on, what might be coming down the road, and that helps us plan a little bit for what we might have to deal with down the road.
But it's fair to say we're confident.
We're going to try.
We're definitely going to try, and we're confident that this is a good arrangement not only for the city but also for Rumpke. And we've worked out most of the problems to the extent that this is a sizable community, this is a sizable contract. So in any case, we should be very competitive in the marketplace when we go out in the next 5 years to renew that contract. We're certain that we'll be able to get the best prices available to us.
And it sounds like it, especially with the way that your organization, your portion of the city is actually spearheading such at such great prices at that. I mean, you're being able to compete and able to say, no, we're keeping it at this price.
We're going to keep it, and I think we have a good chance of maintaining that goal, keeping it at $17 and $13 and $1 a month, all that. I think we're in good shape to really get that done.
Here's one final point to keep in mind. We've got some years behind us now, so our experience should speak for itself.
Absolutely.
For all the naysayers that were talking when we started this program, the proof is in the pudding. We've got an outstanding program, and give a lot of credit to Wright and the folks at Rumpke for working with us on this.
Right, Rumpke has been great. They've given us people to contact. They've been very responsive. I can't say enough about them.
That's good, and that's good to hear that you have a great partnership, not only with you, with the city, but with an organization like Rumpke to be able to handle something like that.
Now, it's going to start October 1, and so I've been working with Rumpke to, I don't know if you can get this on the camera.
It's right there.
Right there?
You're right over there. There you go.
Every household's going to get this. I encourage them to read it.
Okay.
It basically describes exactly what we've talked about just a few minutes ago. If there's any questions, my phone number, contact information's on them. I encourage anybody to call me, and we'll make sure that they know exactly what's going on before it starts on October 1.
Well, it sounds like we've got some good things coming along. Speaking of coming along, we're about the midpoint of the month. You've got something very important coming up as well.
We have really two things going on. The first thing, we're going to have the used tire. We have an annual used tire collection event. It's going to be September 14th, Saturday. It's going to be from 9 to 2. I'll be out there with a big Rumpke container. And we usually collect around 150 tires, but this is for Forest Park and Green Hills residents and maybe some others who bring their tires. Because tires are hard to get rid of. You can't throw them in a landfill. The federal government won't let you do that, and so a lot of people don't know what they want to do with them. Sometimes they just roll them down the hill, you know, and
Well,
they're gone.
They're gone.
Right.
I took care of them.
Right, it's all, I can't see it.
Right,
so-
but of course, that's what we don't encourage people to
Exactly.
do because they're really not gone, and it probably costs more to clean them
Right.
up and get rid of them than if they would have taken advantage of your program
Right, and they
dispose of them properly.
could be a health hazard by collecting water in them, and so we'll have a dumpster. I encourage everybody to come between 9 and 2, Saturday, September 14th. I will put them in there, and they can go home, no questions asked.
How easy is that?
I
You know?
try to make it easy. I try to make it easy.
And then, of course, we have the large appliance recycling program that's going on currently as well.
Well, it just ended. It just ended, and we collected around
I'm so
20.
used to seeing it on my bulletin board. I'm
Right,
not.
right. We did about 20 appliances that contain Freon. And of course, you don't want the Freon to go into the atmosphere because it is a greenhouse gas and it kind of warms up things up. So we were able to take those off, no cost to the residents. We have our own recycler that comes up, collects them, professionally drains them, and then recycles the appliance. And so that ended. It was very, very smooth. I owe the Public Works director and the people at Public Works a big hand because they're the ones who went out and collected it and stored it and moved them around. So they deserve a lot of credit.
You have been busy.
Yeah.
Then there's still more to discuss. What about this new electronic drop box?
That is very important because the county has, because of budget cuts, will not have an electronic drop-off program anymore. Starting 2014, they're kind of leaving it open to entrepreneurs and other businesses to carry the weight. I thought it might be good. We have a new business in town on Northland, 419 Northland. It's USA Lamp.
Okay.
They collect computers, all kinds of lamps, all kinds of electronic devices, and I went to talk to them, and they were very open to developing a program for people to bring their computers, their phones, their monitors, printers, all that's on my website.
Okay.
But until it will be open until October 31st,
Okay.
and then we'll reopen it next year, April 1st. But they will collect all kinds of computers and electronics from during the weekdays from 6 in the morning till I think 3 in the afternoon, and then the first Saturday of every month.
And this is open to Forest Park residents only?
Everybody.
Everybody?
Everybody.
Okay.
So I want them to spread the word because it's going to be an important program now that the county no longer is going to have their drop-off program.
So you're one of the, if not only, good, positive drop-off places in the county at this point.
It's one that people just drop it off. They don't have to fill out anything. They don't have to pay. Well, if you do a TV or some other things, there's a small fee, but there for a lot of computers and other equipment, it's at no charge. So I tell them to go to my website. We've got the list of what does cost a little bit, what doesn't, and then call up the lamp people and just say, hey, I want to come. Is there anything I need to know? And just drop it off.
Excellent. And again, as you said, all of that is on the website,
Right.
and we can get all that information.
Right.
I want to end with one final note because it's going to kind of tie with what I want to talk with Ray here. Of course, the idea that Ray has talked ever since we did some revitalization with the corridors is reforesting Forest Park, that whole idea of bringing the forest back to Forest Park.
Right.
You're no stranger to this type of topic.
Well, the board of directors came up with an idea. We were looking for another project. We've been doing energy efficiency projects,
Yes.
which you know, with households.
With households.
And the contract solid waste and recycling. And we were looking for what other kind of program can we reach another segment of our population,
Sure.
our community. And one of the board members, George Cummings, came up and says, we should do something about reforesting Forest Park. We should do something with trees, maybe subsidizing trees. We have the emerald ash borer that's coming.
Yeah.
And it's already here, and it's killing a lot of the ash trees. We also have another insect, the Asian longhorn beetle, that not only goes after ash trees, but goes after a wide variety of trees. And there's a new one now that is coming in that is affecting walnut trees. Oh. And Butler County was the first one to identify it in Ohio. So it's right around the corner. And it's I think it's called the Thousand Cankers disease. And so there are a lot of things going around us.
Sure.
And so we're just on the edge of some major things happening to our forestry, our urban forest. So the board has decided that we're going to subsidize nice-sized trees, anywhere from 3 to 6 to 8 feet tall trees.
Wow.
The program has ended this year, but we're going to have it next year, hopefully the year after. We're hoping that it's going to be a long-term project for people who have to cut down trees or have been infested and have to remove trees and things of that nature, where they can call us up. They might only have to put 20% down for the tree. We'll cover the other 80% and deliver it to their home. And we're hoping to have a nice variety of trees that they can choose from. We're working with the ODNR to make sure that we get a very healthy variety of trees that once we start planting them, and over maybe 5 to 10 years, maybe we can.
That's a healthy project.
Right.
Now, you said that it obviously has ended for this season.
Right.
You're looking at probably starting back up in the spring.
Right. It'll start like April 1, and we'll start. People will call us, say we want this. So I'll go talk to them, show them the different varieties of trees that we have. They'll either have to remove a tree. We might make modifications. We're not sure about it, but we will have some type of program where we will subsidize trees for next year.
Well, it sounds like that's a definite topic for next season.
I can't wait. I'm excited
about
it. I'm very excited about it.
Absolutely. I love it when you get excited about your projects. It is important. And of course, going into that idea, how is the beautification project of our streetscapes? Obviously you drove down Waycross, and we've seen the great changes we have there with the new banners, the new street lights. We're pretty healthy over here. You've moved on, obviously. We've done the bridge. And how is the bridge work going, and where are we headed next?
Well, everything's moving along very, very well. The Waycross project that you just mentioned between Hamilton and Mill, it's pretty much completed. We will have to go back and do some replacement because, as we talked about things affecting trees, the heat has greatly affected some of the newly planted trees, so we're going to replace some of them. We're working on the finishing touches to the Winton Bridge in that overpass area. We probably won't get that finished until, quite frankly, early next spring because there's a delay in the fabrication of the fencing. And we don't want to start putting up that fencing because we're getting too close to the holiday season, believe it or not. By the time they get it completed and by the time we get out there, we're going to have to affect traffic. So we're now thinking it may be best to wait until the spring rather than to be in the holiday season with all the businesses that we have out there. And we're now starting our focus on the Northland Boulevard project, which it will not occur probably until around 2015, which seems like a long ways off. But we were just talking about that today, and we've got to get going to get that project ready to start in terms of construction around 2015, 2016. But everything is working very well for us right now.
Because you're looking at a few different ideas from what the Waycross look will be. It's similar look, but I mean, I believe, if I remember seeing some plans correctly, some new bus stop terminal overhangs, some different looks to make that business corridor a little more attractive to business.
Right. Well, we're still very early in the design concept stages, so a lot of things are open. We have a basic theme, if you will, with the Waycross project, and we're going to continue that. But we're still encouraging people to contact us, to give us input, to give us their ideas, because we're still in the early design stages of what we're going to ultimately do.
Well, and as you say, 2015 may sound like a far along away, but as you just spoke, Christmas is just around the corner, so 2015 is not as far as we think it is. So it sounds like Forest Park is definitely shaping up for a good summer, and of course we will be back in the fall to discuss other current projects, but I'm glad that we were able to talk about these things so people can prepare for the fall.
Right.
So Wright, Ray, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
For coming out. We always appreciate you here at the round table. We'll see you next time. And of course, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us as well. If this is your first time, welcome aboard. If you're a longtime resident, glad you joined us as well. This has been Talking with Forest Park. I'm Jason Grzegorek, hoping that we were able to give you every opportunity to have a chance to talk with Forest Park. Have a great evening, and I will see you next time.